We're moving.
What? Where?
To Jerusalem.
What?
We bought the tickets last night.
What? I can't believe this. I'm just going into middle school and now we're moving? I mean, look at Liana.
This is your grandmother's city.
A city?
Liana, you're making a display. This is not America.
I'm brushing my hair, Poppy. Seriously, we're not in... I mean, it's... Oh! Hi, City. Oh, honey, daddy, oh, honey, daddy. Why does it have to be like this? Why do you put innocent people in jail? Why is there so much hate and bitterness in this country? Why can't you just forgive each other? Oh,
Anything.
are you okay, Colette?
No, my leg. Did you know it's my birthday? Beginning to think birthdays are bad luck. You're like family to me. And it really touches my heart. And another thing is, I wish that this country of ours that we share, that we don't have to fight over it so much. And this is just really a blessing to understand the unity in between the countries and in between as family.
Remember us when you joined the army.
Welcome to our late night talk show. Today we'll be interviewing some actors and actresses from the movie Habibi. The movie Habibi is based on the book Habibi about a 15-year-old girl moving to Israel with her family. So let's welcome our first actress, Adrian Rathman. Famous for playing Lucy in the movie Narnia.
Yay!
Rathman played Liana, the main character, who is about 15 years old, was born and grew up in America, and is partly Arabic. She doesn't know Arabic well, but is not excited about her life in Israel until she meets Omer. She becomes friends with Omer, who is a Jew, and Liana shouldn't really be hanging out with him, but she still does. Okay, what did you like about filming in Jerusalem?
Well, as an actress, I filmed all over the world, but being in Jerusalem, I could feel the rich culture and history that's so important there, especially to the religions of Islam and Judaism. So, I just loved how Jerusalem was so unique. And, I also realized in being in Jerusalem that the old city is not called old for nothing. I saw markets, churches, mosques, and other buildings that seemed as old as time itself. In the end, Jerusalem became one of my favorite cities in the world.
Okay, how does the trailer show the plot or the movie or the book?
Well, I think the makers of this trailer did a really good job. It shows some of the themes in this book, specifically transition, culture, relationships, and the races of Jews and Arabs. It shows the plot by using short clips of important scenes in the movie. For example, it shows Liana's struggle with making a new home in Jerusalem, some of the rising action, and a bit of the resolution.
What were some feelings your character experienced in the transition between America and Israel?
I think that Liana was a great mix of feelings during her transition to the Middle East. At first, she was mad and bitter about having to move and leave her country that she'd known all her life. But once she got used to it, I think she kind of settled down and realized that she couldn't change it. And she was just a little bit nervous, because she never met the people that she was going to meet, and they were her relatives. So, Liana, when she arrives in Israel, I think she feels lonely at first. But I have a quote that shows her feelings here. Maybe the hardest thing about moving overseas was living in a place where no one but her own family had any memory of her. It was like putting herself back together with little pieces. So I think Liana really struggles with the idea of having to start over. And nobody knows who she really is except for her family. And so as she lives in Jerusalem, she makes new friends, and then she doesn't feel lonely anymore.
Okay.
So,
how was this theme expressed in the movie?
well, I really felt that culture was a theme that was really woven throughout the entire story of Habibi. And it's expressed by city in the village, by the tension that's kind of always there in Omer and Liana's relationship, and by scenes such as the one where Liana is told not to wear short shorts or brush her hair on the porch. And cultural differences were made very clear in the movie by changing the way that Liana and her family acted and even dressed from place to place, so that it was really obvious that things are very different. Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I would like to welcome our second actor who plays Poppy, the father of Liana, and is an Arabic man who went to America to learn about medication and hospitality and married an American woman there. He has a very Arabic mind and is very concerned about his daughter being friends with a Jewish boy. So let's welcome Paul Cook, who played Poppy in the movie.
Yay!
Okay, how did you prepare to act like Poppy?
I prepared by learning Arabic and tanned my body because because Arab people's skin is dark. I went to Israel a month before taking the film. When I was in Israel, I learned about their culture, climate, food, and many other things.
Okay, what did you have to do that you normally wouldn't do?
I normally use American accent when I speak English, but when I was taking the film, I tried to use Arabic accent. I get more mature, like an adult. For example, I could drive a car for Liana and Rafik when they go to.
Okay, what is the most important rising action in the movie?
I think the most important rising action is when Israeli soldiers destroy city's house to find Mahmoud, because it's biggest action scene in the whole book, and it's the most exciting part for the comics.
Okay, our last question is, what is the theme of your character?
I think my theme is give more freedom to my children, because in the movie I think Poppy didn't give much freedom to Liana and Rafik. For example, in page 171, when Poppy heard that Liana hang out with a Jewish boy, he asked a lot of questions like what, who, where. Another thing is take care of my children more. In the movie, I don't know what's happening to Rihanna or what's her problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yay!
Okay, so our next character, Rafik About, is the younger brother of Liana, about 13 years old, also the son of Poppy. He's a very energetic, loud, joyful boy who loves his life in Israel. He is very positive and he is very interested in Israeli culture. So let's welcome our next actor, Matthew Strong, who plays Rafik in the movie.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so, where does the movie start and where does it end?
Well, we began in New York City, America, and we ended up in Galilee. Israel. We ended up at a restaurant, and City and Omer were there. It is like a time of bonding then. But New York was like an exciting introduction to this movie, which sort of gave a spur to the movie.
Okay, so how is it like to be an Arab American in the movie?
For my character, it is quite easy. He tends to boast on both sides. For example, if somebody says, "Are you an Arab?" and they're American, then he's going to say, "Yeah, I'm 100% Arab." But then if an Arab asks them, "Are you American?" he's going to say, "I'm 100% American." He likes to be an oddball like that. But he will usually use both nationalities to his advantage. For example, he will say he is an Arab to an American and vice versa. I think this matches my personality as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so what was it like? What was the climax of the movie?
Climax of the movie? Well, for my character, I think it was this quote from his sister. Liana said, "Always give details." It shows a turning point in Rafiq's life, where he needs to grow up and be more mature. This is like a time when he has huge responsibility, especially for this part of the movie. It shows that he can help, that he can be a help to the world for once.
Okay, so our last question is, what was your favorite scene in the movie and why?
My favorite theme is how Rafiq can be himself even in hard transitions. It can be hard to be yourself in those times. I don't know if any of you audience out there have ever moved, but to move, it's quite hard. And he was always himself, no matter what. And normally you need to adapt to the culture around you. But for Rafiq, he kept strong inside. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, so in your opinion, what is the biggest theme in the movie and why?
I think the biggest theme in the movie is transition. I think so because besides being a romance, the movie Habibi is about Liana moving to Jerusalem and how life is different there. And she is Arabic. Some things that show her she doesn't know the culture there, and some things that show that is she brushes her hair out in the open. Apparently you can't do that there, and she tries to bring shorts, and women don't wear shorts. And so it's a lot about just her transitioning and adjusting to new culture.
Okay, our last question. In the movie, when your house was destroyed, what were your feelings?
Well, a bunch of soldiers came to my house, and I was demanding to see my grandson, Muhammad, and then I told them he was away, but now he's been living in the Jordan for the past, 5 years studying. He wants to be, I don't know, but they just wrecked my house, searching everywhere for him, smashing as they went. They even smashed the bathroom. I mean, of all places, it had to be about the bathroom. I was moping and mopping and sobbing at the same time, like when they had left. And everyone found me. They smashed my favorite food plate, and I think I cared more about that than the bathroom. So I spent the night at my daughter's, Liana's aunt's house, but it was really an emotional time for me because they were just really brutal, and they just did it because they could.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Go! Thank you. Now I would like to welcome our second actor who plays Papa.
Okay, quickly. I forgot I wasn't supposed to do it.
Come on. Don't be so good.
I'm your girlfriend's grandmother.
Alright.